Episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
But hey, everybody, another great week, another hot week. I'm very disappointed. I was promised by the people I voted for that we would have no more hot weather, but but it's going to be tough this week. But that's okay. We have an indoor studio with air conditioning, so we're good to go. I have Alex Phillips here, the economic guru of Burleson. He knows all, tells little. So, but we're going to talk about the things that we all can talk about some of the new developments that are going on. Also, I'm going to kind of deviate. Also, I'd like to know, how we deal with the state on these kind of issues because there's a lot going on at the state level. We're having yet another special session, and it may alter how we are able to finance ourselves as a city, and also maybe other limitations about businesses and whatnot and things of that nature. But we're going to talk also about what's going on in Old Town. Yeah. That corner on Summercrest.
In Wilshire?
Yeah, Wilshire. What'd you call it?
We called it Project Facelift because it will be a facelift to the corridor. Yeah.
And any other things that are known are coming around our way. Also, you told me today Alley Cats is officially turning dirt.
They are turning dirt today. It was a great sight to see the equipment out there moving.
I need to drive by there. It's on my way home practically, so there you are. But before we jump in there, we talk about some businesses here you already know, and I bet you already know this. Also, CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. You know they have new ownership now.
Yes, sir.
And I had them on about a month ago, and they're very nice ladies. Lexi and Bailey, and they've got some plans for it. So go check them out. A lot of the stuff they have is still there, the classes and the times and membership plans and on and on. So CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire, and of course your old friend Shandy, Shandy Stockstill Group. She handled my daughter's house sale about 10 days ago, and it really, I needed somebody like that.
Yeah.
These people that think they could sell their house on their own, I don't understand it. They must know more than I do.
Too many moving parts.
Exactly. And it was like, okay, we have to hold this paper. Why? Because the law says we have to hold it for 72 hours and look at it. I don't know. It was just all this stuff. But Shandy helped cut through all that, and house is sold, and the money's come in, and we're off doing other things. All right. I also thank you, of course, our place, they were closed last week, which is like a citywide crisis, and I really thought it was great of Auto to close for a week and take care of the employees. They got paid, so it wasn't like they're going to have a hard time making rent in July. And this is why he has the same staff, month after month. He doesn't have a lot of turnover. So now that it's open again, thank God. I'll be seeing them Thursday. My Sunday school class men and I try to solve all the world's problems every other Thursday. And we don't get very far, but ever.
That'll work.
Yeah, also Chris over at Wild Cigar and Culture, they got a lot of stuff going on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They have happy hour, and they also have drink specials on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so go check it out. And also the cigars. They have also a conference room. If you want to have a meeting there, you can have a meeting in the afternoon and top it off with a little drink or a smoke or whatever. That's always nice. Also, our friend Tiffany just had that big party at the pavilion over at Local Life Magazine. It should be out this week. I think it is. I know that she works pretty hard at this thing. I try to get her on the show. It's like, I got too many things going on. I know. Well, okay. So we'll see her in September. LocalLifeTX.com for what's going on locally. And it's a great advertising. Over 30,000 people, homes get it. And a total number of people read it. So Local Life Magazine, good place to advertise. Also, Southern Gym, they've opened up the bottom floor. Have you been there yet?
I have not been on the bottom floor. I went over there and met with those folks a couple months ago, and got a tour of the bottom floor before it opened up. So, it's good stuff.
I always mention that my wife works there. So if you go over there in the next couple of days and she's there, she'll be glad to. There's two ladies now that named Robin that work there. So if you walked in and asked for Robin, there's going to be, my wife and a new person that's come on board. But anyway, they'll be glad to show you. And also, it's a good place to take Mrs. Phillips because while she's looking at jewelry, Gayla's going to have a place for the men to sit, watch sports or whatever. And that's so smart because it is. You've gone to places with your wife, I'm sure, and you're like, I'd like a place to crash for about an hour while they go over all these details.
Exactly.
But so she's providing that. Also, our friends over at Old Pro, you know them, I'm sure. They've been around a long time. John Williams is our local agent, 817-734-2756. Seeing a lot of roofs going up, including from Old Pro. So there's only people I know that root for hailstorms, I guess, but
Yeah. They've been busy this season.
well, yeah, and what happened with us, we didn't get as bad a damage, and he told us our roof was fine, but over in the west side of town, it sounded like they got really hammered.
Yeah, West Side and Joshua got hammered pretty good in the last hailstorm.
So we'll be seeing roofs go up, and insurance companies busy. Speaking of which, one of those insurance companies will definitely be Texas Farm Bureau with Melissa Harmon, 682-804-0534. She's our agent. She could be yours. She'll help you save money, help you up your insurance. She's a very nice woman, and she'll take care of you well. As will Morris and Lisa Smith, Stop Restoration. If they have damage from those storms, they can help you with the water damage, the fire damage. If you have a hot water heater leak, if you have a toilet leak, and the thing is you don't even notice these things until the mold's there. And they're certified mold specialists. They have the credentials and the certifications to make judgments on this. So when people say, yeah, I'm a mold expert, look for the credentials because you have to have them to do it. Taylor, we got any nonprofit things going on? We do have something for Harvest House coming this weekend, don't we? I don't know if you have the advertisement for it, but Jennifer, our friend Jennifer, was going to come on Thursday. Yeah. They're also, that also is the one we're talking about, is about a box truck, but they were doing something for like Little Red Schoolhouse. But our friend Jennifer is going to be on.
It's probably their kickoff to Little Red Schoolhouse is about to start.
Well, unfortunately, yesterday her father passed.
Oh,
so she will not be here this week, and probably it may not be in another month until I see her. Her father passed away. He lived in Alaska, so she's going to be out of pocket for a while. But the Little Red Schoolhouse will go on, and so if you want to help with that, that's been going on as long as I've lived here practically. So
yeah, that's been going on for a long time,
and a lot of people benefit from that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Burleson. I am interested in the Operation Facelift. I've seen that corner basically just like I've often thought. All this stuff is going on around it. Why is that corner just has a rundown, now defunct old convenience store, and then you had the old Sonic which was a nursery, and then it was just an eyesore. Yeah, right.
And then it also includes Dr. Erickson's old office.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
sir. So that development goes all the way from the corner all the way to the bank.
Is Dr. Erickson? He's not still.
He's still practicing, I believe, in Venus.
Okay. I wonder why he moved. I know his daughter.
No clue. Yeah.
Is his daughter still using that office?
No. Okay. No, sir.
Good.
It's empty.
Good. Love it. What's going to take its place?
So there'll be 4 new users in there. The one on the corner will be Hawaiian Bros, which is Hawaiian food that everybody's kind of excited about.
Oh, my wife and my daughter make a trip to Fort Worth for Hawaiian Brothers.
Yes.
So
they don't have to do that anymore once they open up here. And then you have Cool Greens, which is a salad concept, but it has seating on the inside to kind of go in, build your own salad from a salad bar.
Oh, there used to be another place like that in Fort Worth that my family would go to, and I can't remember. But
there's a lot of different salad concepts with salada or something like that. But Cool Greens is the one we're getting, and then next it'll be Fat Burger, which is a burger place out of California. This will be only their 6th location in the DFW metro.
What's
and then the 4th one we don't know yet.
What's unique about Fat Brothers? I mean, we got hamburger joints and.
Well, it's the same thing as what's unique with Whataburger. I mean, it's everybody has their own taste in burgers, and they have different ones. We're getting Freddy's is under construction. Freddy's Burgers and Custard.
Where's that at?
Out in front of Hobby Lobby, next to KFC.
Okay, I've seen that driving by. I've seen it being under construction. I didn't know what that was.
Freddy's Steak Burgers and Custard.
Wow.
So.
Well, we don't have to go out of town for anything anymore.
Exactly.
And
that's the hope.
Well, no, we were talking about this. Oh gosh, it was last week. I was talking with a couple of the guests who've been around a while, and they were saying the same thing. I said because they've been here when it was like 3 places to go sit down to eat, and the rest to go through. And now we got like 19 different hamburger joints to choose from.
We do,
and like you said, they all have these different variations. One of which I really did like that didn't last as long as I wish was Smash Burgers. I like those, but they come and they go, right?
Yeah, Smash Burger was good. I think it was just location and timing at the time. I mean, that intersection at John Jones and Wilshire just wasn't as populated as it is today. Today, that intersection is probably the busiest in town.
Yeah, I know it is because I have to take a sack lunch if I'm going to HEB because it's going to take a while. get through all that stuff on Wilshire. But I know you may not know the answer to this, but why did it take so long for that corner to finally get development?
Land prices. I mean, the price on the land was the most expensive piece of property in Johnson County commercially.
That little
listed.
piece of property on Summercrest and Wilshire.
Yes.
Really?
So, I mean, it was at almost $30 a foot, which made the price crazy for a developer to come in there and try to make profit on it. So we got creative and with the development team to put it under contract and see if we could put together an incentive deal to flip the property to redevelop it. So they're doing a lot of public improvements that we're going to reimburse them for. Taking out, making sure there's just one shared drive into that whole development, because right now it's just like an open runway to Wilshire.
Right.
And then, landscaping, drainage, water and sewer improvements, and then also traffic improvements at the intersection.
So you said you put together a deal. Was that, did it have anything to do to help bring the price of that land down, or is it just you're trying to offset some of the price?
Offset some of that stuff.
Okay.
It's the same what's going on with China King being set there so long. The price of the land is so high that people can't purchase it to redevelop that to be making a profit.
Well, is there anything that the city can do about that other than, I guess this is what you can do.
This is what we can do.
Okay. But as far as like the price of land, it just is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
What somebody's willing to pay for it.
Well, I really like the fact that you're doing something in that corner, because it used to be just, it just always struck me as odd is that here you got Walmart and here you got Walgreens, and then you got the development that's gone on right across the street, but it just sat there. And now, but to make this happen, the city's got to put some money into it.
Yeah, we had to get involved from the EDC side of things, so we can incentivize public improvements to a development out of using sales tax dollars.
How does that happen? I mean, isn't it like you and Drew and Joni sit around the table and go, let's just throw in the street.
No, we look at how much are they going to be? What's their capital investment in terms of building. And values that they'll do in the building, plus their sales volumes, and kind of what we would be receiving back after it's fully developed in sales tax numbers, and then look at a kind of a 10-year return that we look at in-house that we show council and make sure that we're getting 100% or not, or if better than 100% over 10 years, getting our money back on whatever incentive that we put into it.
I guess I'm just curious about the steps it takes, because, obviously there's a lot of steps involved. It isn't like I kind of...
No, I mean, the conversation with that developer has been going on for probably a year, and making sure that we get new to market users. That's a big thing for us to incentivize anything. It has to be new to market. Sales tax users is a big plus. We just don't want automotive or medical that doesn't produce any sales tax. It does produce property tax, but not sales tax into the city. So we want new to market users, things that people want to see, and that's what we try to recruit in.
And so you put together this package, the three of y'all. What's the next step? You take it to the city manager and grind it with him?
We talk about it internally, and then take it to council to kind of get their direction on it, and then bring an agreement back to council for approval.
Yeah, that's probably where the rubber hits the road, is at the council meeting, because I'm sure you have to answer a bunch of questions.
Absolutely.
And it's like none of your business. No, you can't say that. But no, it's but as far as I could tell, most of them have been approved.
Yes, sir.
But they do modify it sometimes.
Sometimes, here and there on different projects, people see different visions, which is fine. That's one reason why we take it to council to get their direction. So it's a conversation, and it's a team effort, like I always say. It's all of us working together to bring in the right folks.
Well, got a couple of comments. Bill's saying the owners of Smashburgers, owner of the Catch, which somewhere I'd heard that before, but now I know. Sarah Carlson here, which is my guest tomorrow, by the way.
Sir.
All right. I think people often forget the incentives are tied to goals the city has that the user has to achieve. It's not just a freebie for them.
Yeah, it's what we call performance measures. They have to perform to get paid.
And so if they don't, what happens?
They don't get the money.
They don't get the money.
Yeah.
So they have to put the money up front, though, right?
Yeah, they're doing all the work. They put it all in, all the traffic improvements, sidewalk, landscaping, shared access. Once they do all that stuff, then we cut them a check. but after it's been, done, inspected, and accepted by the city to our standards.
Okay, so it isn't. Some people have the impression that basically here comes a developer. Here's a big check. Go do something with it. And you're saying it's actually the opposite.
Yeah,
that they come in and they agree to do these things, and then they get paid.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I thought that was the case. But sometimes I'd hear people talk about, we're just giving away money and all this. Like, well,
I know
really.
I know it could seem that way if you not understanding what's going on. But there's a lot of teamwork involved to put together an agreement that with the performance measures that everybody can agree upon.
Well, and so this project, when do you think it's going to start turning dirt?
They'll start doing their asbestos abatement within 30 days, and then demo will happen after that.
Oh, the asbestos. Brings back memories of it. Yeah. I'm sure you remember Robert Griswold from your BHS days. With every
He
year.
was my principal at Mound.
Yeah, oh, really?
So I got a few swats. I got a few swats from Mr. Griswold.
Why am I not surprised?
Well,
if you haven't got,
live and learn.
Yeah, if you haven't got a few licks from Griswold, and you're not real Burlesonian.
Yeah, Griswold, Dunn, Mr. Moore.
Dunn.
I mean,
Yeah, Mr. Moore. I remember Mr. Dunn. He helped me get through my first couple of years at the junior high, and he was legendary for his swing there. He could really bring it. But I remember Griswold. Every year he'd be given the asbestos conversation because since one of the buildings at BHS has asbestos in it. He had at the old BHS.
At the old BHS.
Yeah. And we just start teasing him about that. Is this the asbestos talk? Yes. Yeah, it is. Whatever.
Yes.
But anyway, back to other stuff. So you'll think probably by, oh, gosh, who knows how long that asbestos abatement will take, but
probably, if I had to guess, maybe 30 days tops, right. But and then they'll move in with a demolition.
Jonathan Cook asks, is a coffee shop coming to 627 Southwest Wilshire?
See, I don't know what 627 Southwest Wilshire is, so
in the old checkered flag auto.
Ah, okay. That's what's we've heard. We haven't seen any plans come through or anything of that nature. But that's what we've heard is another coffee shop there.
Well, there's one that's gone by HEB too, right?
Yeah, 151 Coffee.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be open this next month.
Yeah. Speaking of coffee,
so
there's another opened up, Java John's in HEB.
Java John's.
Yeah, and I'm going to be talking to him on the 31st of this month. He's also has a lot of connections with the Harvest House. He works with them, and so we're going to talk about that as well. But we're also going to talk about his new coffee shop.
It's a really cool place inside HEB if y'all haven't been.
Oh, yeah, and there he is. And I've gotten and I go to HEB more than I care to, actually, because I always seem to forget things. If I'm not there every 3 days, I get a phone call from them saying, "Are you okay? I just hope you're, haven't fallen under something heavy." But anyway, that kind of thing. But as far as the old checkered flag auto, you're going to have to.
So it's on the same side as Fast Taco, but on the corner of Wilshire and Gardens.
Oh,
so
right there on that little U-turn area.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a good place to have it.
Yes, sir.
So right across from that, with the Hill College, it'll be good.
Yes,
because
we're getting a lot of coffee places.
We are. I mean, besides Java John's, and we also have one that's going on in the Standard.
Yes, sir.
Like
roasted beanery. It's been open for about a month now. And most of them, they don't follow Starbucks, but as soon as the Dutch Bros opens up, then they're all following them.
Dutch Brothers is the trend maker, huh?
Yes.
Do you ever think that maybe we have too many of these things, or is that not really something you have to worry about?
It's capitalism,
right?
And zoning, and I think a lot of times people think, hey, maybe I can do it a little bit better with my concept. That's a little bit different. Everybody has their own flavor of stuff. I think our economy has a way of working things out of if we don't have enough of it or if we have too many of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the nature of business.
But that's not something you deal with. It isn't if somebody comes in and says, I want to do another hamburger place. You don't say, well, buddy, we already have too many.
No, sir.
You just say, welcome aboard.
If it's zoned properly and, they want to buy the dirt and build that, then they can.
Miss Jill Ivy says we have too many car washes. We've had that joke.
We've had that too many car washes, 5-8 years ago, we had too many mini storages going up. I mean, it's something every year or all the time that people think that we have too many of.
And Jonathan is talking about tropical smoothie cafes. Thank you for bringing one of the healthiest food options around Burleson. Where exactly is Tropical
So that's
Smoothie?
behind Dutch Brothers.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was thinking over off of Ellsbury. I'm thinking of Bahama Bucks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm getting
Tropical Smoothie Cafe. They're in the same shopping center back there in the back with Jeremiah's Italian Ice. That's really good too.
Really? See,
yes,
I haven't really spent much time there. I know the Chipotle came in.
Yes, sir.
That was a big one.
So it's behind there.
And okay, but here we have, Tropical Smoothie apparently has a full food menu.
Yes. So they have a lot of different options there. So,
well, I need to go check it out a little more closely because, I don't eat a lot of fast food because health issues and whatever else. But I like the fact. Not just because it gives us variety, but it gives us employment,
Yes.
and that's a good thing,
Yes.
to say the least. But now we're developing to the point where are we getting a lot of business from out of town, so to speak?
we're getting. I mean, our population's 50,000, 51,000. Our trade market, people that come to our market to eat, shop, do business, is 400,000.
Oh, really?
So
wow.
we get people from Cleburne, Joshua, Godley. Grandview, Alvarado, that they come to Burleson to do their shopping or to eat out or their entertainment. So
Well, Shandy tells us the reason why Burleson's growing so fast is it's got three things that are really, really useful, to say the least. We have good schools, we have good police, and we're right next to a major metroplex area, but not really in the middle of it. And so we have the great location for that.
yeah, it's all about.
so-
I mean, the three rules in real estate: location, location, location. I mean, with the good schools, that goes a long ways. Public safety goes a long ways, but we grow because of the people here. And the people that are coming in want to be a part of what is happening in Burleson.
And
They want a part of that small town feel.
And also, you get in this synergy concept. That it's like once you have a couple of people that kind of set the standard, I guess, or make their first move, other people are more encouraged to come here.
Yes, sir.
Because it's say, well, we have too many hamburger joints. No, well, like you said, capitalism will take care of that. But the reason why is because it's like the whole mall concept, and
It makes the pie bigger
yeah, it does.
for everybody.
Jonathan here also was talking about the Lions Club parade, which is a real big deal on the 4th of July.
Yeah, it was the biggest 4th of July parade that we've had in its history, according to Kim Malone with the Lions Club.
I need to ask Jill Ivy, are you talking to me or to Jonathan about the invitation?
I think she's talking to Jonathan.
Jonathan,
So,
okay. Anyway,
yeah.
Speaking of business, we did I got some bad news this past weekend.
Okay.
About Cabrina Daniels leaving the chamber.
Yes, sir.
That really is unfortunate. But
It's bad news, but it's also great
understandable
news
news.
for her.
Right.
I think, she is a great asset for the chamber. And she will continue to be a big part of the chamber, I have no doubt, from what she says. So
I don't blame her because what I understand, it's a good job.
it's a great opportunity for her.
And it'll help her spend more time with her son and her family as a whole. And God bless her. I've really become so impressed with
Absolutely.
her. And she was going to be on one more time in August, and so I'm going to give her to.
Yeah. She's been wonderful to work with, and we have a great partnership with her in the chamber, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since she was there, and we'll continue to rock and roll. She's not going to leave it in dire hands for sure.
No.
Knowing her, she's gonna stay and be a part of it until she knows it's in good hands.
Well, and of course, your old student, comrade, friend, I don't know what you call it, peer, Sarah Brown was on,
Yes.
or Sarah Brown Roberts. I still call my old students by their maiden names. It's just an old habit from an old man. But no, she was, talking about all the things Cabrina has done for us. And, I read that. It's like, well, knowing how Cabrina feels about the chamber, it must have been a really, really good opportunity.
It was. And I mean, not just the chamber, but the community as a whole, how she feels about the community. And she's going to continue to be a part of it.
Did you have a big piece of that action on the Memorial Day weekend and all that? Are y'all involved in that?
So our parks department is.
Yeah, but but also economic development. I bet you profited from that.
That is all Parks and Rec that does all that. They get all the kudos with that, with Jessica and Allison and Elizabeth over at the Parks and Recreation Department, working with the chamber to coordinate that, to put it together. I mean, over 4 days, they had over 22,000 people in the carnival.
Yeah.
Hot Sounds of Summer kickoff. I mean, it's and with Honey Tour on the Saturday, it was a great weekend to kick off.
Yeah, I had Jen Basham on not long after that, and she was very enthusiastic, of course. But whoever takes over for Gabrina is going to have a really big job to fill. I mean, she expanded the footprint, so to speak, of the chamber, more than just a collection of businesses that get together and chit chat. I mean, she really made it an interactive thing.
Yes.
So I don't know how the board's going to handle it. I do have a friend on the board. I'll ask him Wednesday.
It's a good board, and I know they'll make a good decision and put somebody in there that'll try to fill those shoes.
But you work with them a lot, though, at the chamber.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I guess also when I envision what you and your crew do is like, I know you're very proactive. Mm-hmm. When you're being proactive, you're trying to recruit businesses to Burleson. Mm-hmm. Do you have a specific type of business in mind and say, hey, we need this in our town? Or is it just you're looking for a specific type of community citizen, shall we say?
No, I think, it comes from different avenues, from what we think we need to, hey, this is a cool spot that we went to when we were on vacation. Hey, they have locations in Texas. I think it'd be a cool addition to the community. It could be coming from a community citizen request of for us to reach out and think it would be good. And we look at it and it's like, yeah, that would be good. Let's reach out to them and see what their requirements are.
Right.
And try to get a meeting to start that conversation with them.
Well, I would bet you get probably a much more responsive reception now than you maybe did 10 years ago.
It's easier now to get a response than, when I first started in the EDC, close to 10 years ago, that, you may have to send 3, 4, 5 emails to get a response. But now it's easier.
Yeah.
I will say, depending on the user, it can still be difficult.
And sure, you also get a lot of suggestions from maybe,
all the time.
We need this, we need that.
All the time.
Also, Joan is asking here, Joan Grundy Cobras, when are they going to start on Alley Cats?
Miss Joan, they started today.
Yeah.
They are out there throwing dirt around.
How long do you think that'll take to get?
They'll be open in August of next year. So about a year.
That'd be one of those things that we probably keep track of the whole time.
Absolutely.
That's the interesting thing about 30 years ago when you were in high school. You may have been in high school at the time. I remember this new restaurant was coming to town, and we didn't know what it was. Everybody's excited. It turned out to be the Burger King. Yeah. And I'm thinking, what kind of town am I living in where Burger King turned this upside down with the excitement? But I've often also told people in the show that 2 landmark things happened to make this Live It possible. One is when they put that Chili's in and those other string of restaurants on the Fort Worth side of the highway. It inspired us, shall we say, to get with the program on the Burleson side of the highway, Gateway Station and all that. Second is when they allowed the liquor laws to change and we have to go through this membership business and then here comes Fresco's, here comes Mambo's, here comes HEB and all this other stuff. Yeah. And that really changed the landscape, I thought, of doing business in Burleson.
Just the city progressing along with some other cities the same size as us.
There is one thing, I don't know if you can comment on it directly, and you don't have to, of course, but there's been 2 or 3 times it's been brought up to me and also one of my, my sponsors about the liquor stores in town. Because, the restaurants can only buy from within the county, and I think that's craziness. That's an anti-capitalist law by our friends down in Austin. You should be able to buy from whatever registered, licensed, respectable dealer there is. But, as long as Liquor Depot is down in Alvarado, that's pretty much where all our restaurants have to buy from.
Yes, sir.
Has there been any push at any level to try to look into that situation?
We've had numerous people reach out to us to ask what the process is, and we connect them with our city secretary for them to get the lowdown of what that process is to getting a petition together in a certain amount of days, a certain amount of registered voters to get that put on the ballot. But no one has progressed to take that
it's a big
under the
issue.
wing.
That's what happened in 2008 and 9. The first time it failed by a handful of votes, and they did it again in 2009. It was a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and it can't come from the council, and it can't come from staff or nothing like that. It's got to come from a private citizen or business to put that petition together.
So it could be any private citizen in Burleson, or could it be the folks at Total Wine?
It could be the folks at Total Wine,
even if they're not going to live here.
I mean, they could petition to put that on the ballot.
Well, I've talked to several people on the council over the last year about this, from the mayor to Victoria to Ronnie. I don't know if I ever talked about it with Dan. I'm supposed to try to hook up with him in about the next 6 weeks on this show. But and they all well, some more supportive than others. I'll put it that way. But they all have one big concern is that you can't say, okay, we'll have a Total Wine, but we can't have Billy Bob's Cut Rate right next. You know, zoning, you know, it will play a big role in that. But, you know, not all liquor stores are the same. You go into Total Wine, and it's well lit and all this sort of stuff. And you go to some of these other joints and it look like,
absolutely,
you know,
the zoning our development standards would play a big role in that.
Yeah. So personally, and this is you don't have to tell me, but my opinion is I fall on the side that we need something like this because it would save our restaurant owners money.
Well, in the end, it saves our consumers money if the restaurants are saving money.
Right.
You know, I always fall on the side of, for the most part, if our citizens are leaving town to go do something, then that is something that I would like to try to get into town.
Well, I'm not that I'm a big time booze buyer, but Liquor Depot is more expensive than Total Wine. I mean, noticeably more expensive because they're a monopoly.
Yes, sir.
And I just think that would be, I guess we'd have to ask Billy Cordell what he thinks about this because, you know, it'd be his department that probably have to deal maybe with some of the fallout. But then I will also say that back in 2009, when this was up for election, there was all this speculation and conversation about how our crime rate's going to blow through the roof because of excess alcohol consumption, and it did not happen.
No, sir.
And I don't know if it will. I don't know how long a town of our size can continue not to consider this more strongly.
And again, I mean, it's just, I think there's a lot of people that say that we need something like that, but there's no one willing to go through that process to get it on the ballot.
Also,
and it's just, and like you said, it's just a lot of work to do that. And it's getting somebody else involved or a team of people involved to do that.
I would also, I don't know if this is possible, legal or whatever. I'd like to be able to vote in that kind of election, but since I live right outside the city limits, I can't.
It'd just be a city election.
Yeah, I know. I just wish it, like the ETJ, as they call it, was, because we're all going to be affected by it.
Yes, sir.
But it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
The election's about the, you know, that's when I wish I was a citizen, but tax time, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because my taxes aren't quite as high, but still, I think that's going to be something that's going to come up more than once because I don't have like an inside line on all this, but that's just kind of what I'm seeing on Facebook and social media and conversations. Like there's more and more awareness that this is costing us money.
There's a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, and I'd like to see it happen, but you know, and I think somebody with the size of Total Wine, they'd be able to finance a campaign like that, but then, of course, you know, and there'll be people that are opposed to it, and they're welcome to that opposition. Certainly, that's their right, and in some cases, they may have a good reason. But I just think an overall view of what we need that needs to be considered. Do you have anything else other do you think we could use? That I mean, I'm looking around, and we joke about the car washes and the hamburger joints, but is there other things that people said, hey, we could use this in our town?
I think the suggestions that we get nowadays are more specific restaurants that people want to see in town, more specialized restaurants in different ways. I mean, Jason's Deli is always there. Panera's always there. I'm sure.
Isn't the Panera going up on the 1187 area?
No, sir.
Okay, I thought it was.
No, sir.
But then we need Panera.
Yeah, we need Panera. Plus everything on 1187's in Fort Worth.
Right, so. But we all consider it to be
You'll never
local.
see me there. It's not local.
So you're not going to eat at that Cheddar's or get coffee at Starbucks?
It's not local. It's not in the city limits.
So you don't go to Chili's or On the Border?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay.
So,
those are fine places. Don't get me wrong, but I usually eat at Fresco's or Mamba's or El Phoenix.
Yeah,
because or if I want a hamburger, I go to Grump's.
Yeah,
and or Whataburger sometimes. I or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you go to Italian, now that's another thing. We only have one. Well, do we have more than one Italian other than Sammy's?
We have Sammy's. You have Little Brothers over by Albertsons.
Oh yeah, who was it? So, you mentioned that, didn't you? Yeah, you mentioned that.
So family owned and operated, great stuff.
I got to try it sometime.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. So
I like pasta and stuff like that, and is it BYOB or something like that?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
So
and then so people really aren't asking. We want more of X. We want more of this particular style or this particular restaurant, this particular store.
Yes. So we have Old Town Provisions opened up, a little bit.
I was going to mention that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a men's kind of retail store that Wes and Anthony opened up, and it's been fantastic and been a huge hit in town.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. They have some very nice stuff.
And they've gotten fully involved in the community too, which is great. They're going to have a big event, I think July 29th. At their store. See more information on that on their Facebook page.
Yeah, Bill's mentioned about Gina's Pizzas under renovations, and and
I wasn't going to say anything about what's going on there. I'll let the person that's in charge of that to announce that glorious news when it comes out. So.
Bill, if you know who's running it, keep it to yourself, buddy, because I know the owner has a. Particularly where he wants to present that to the community. Yeah. So we'll leave it then.
It's got a big vision. It'll be a big hit.
Oh, absolutely. That was the first place I ate in Burleson back in 1991. And I brought my wife because we were kind of looking at houses and such. And, well, let's just say that I'm sure that under new management, this is going
Gina's
to pick up.
Had her own style of how she ran the business when she was here with us.
Yeah. And but I am looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah, I am too.
Because it's old school and I've been fortunate to talk to the new proprietor of that place.
Me and the new owner have been talking about that for years and finally come to fruition. So it's good stuff.
And some of the ideas he has are great. And so
it'll be good.
But there's one place my wife and I will always kind of joke about. We wish they had a Maggiano's here. You know that restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's over. The closest one to us is at North Park in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful place, but it's maybe a little more $1 than what most Burlesonians would want, but it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, Campese's is another one we go to, and
we're just not that we don't have the income yet or the population for stuff like that.
Well, I bet when that big development west of here starts kicking in, and that's not going to be tomorrow, but all that stuff near the toll road.
New roadway is under construction. There's concrete on the ground out there.
Good heavens!
There's a lot of good stuff coming out there with new development that we hopefully be able to announce fully to the public in the next few months. So
let's shift our view, shall we say, to Old Town. Okay, what's going on there?
So Old Town, I mean, you have the development on the plaza that is all bricked up, and everybody's working on the inside. With Razzoos is they're shooting for an August 1st opening date.
They're hiring, I know.
Yeah, they are fully staffed. From what I understand, employees will start training in there here in a week or so.
They already got the employees.
Yes, sir. And then Heim Barbecue is going to be open in October.
Two great men. Jonathan, you're not talking about us. I thought you were talking about another store or something.
I don't have to cut him a check and send it to him, I guess, or something.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So, appreciate it.
But as far as the development, also, it's not just all restaurant. It's also like office retail.
We have
space.
Office on the top floor across the top. I know there's a law firm going in above Razzoos.
Really? How about that?
And then the city's taking 12,000 square feet of space that we're purchasing from the developer. So,
well, Bill mentions the next thing I was going to ask about was Station 330.
Station 330 that's being built just south of Eagles Point or former Dalton's Corner. It's 11,000 square foot restaurant. It'll be a steakhouse, but also family atmosphere that'll have a lot of different offerings. So, and they should be open by the end of the year as well.
Well, that's going to be interesting because, I've heard different concepts. It's got a train theme, but I've heard it was going to be family, and then I've heard it's going to be high-end steak. And you say it's a little bit of both, actually.
It's going to be family and have good steaks on the menu. So it's going to be it'll be a great addition to kind of extending the vision of Main Street down to the south. Yeah,
and that property's been underutilized for a long time. I'm sure, again, it's because of square footage cost and all this other business.
Well, the person that owns the dirt is actually the person that's building the restaurant. So,
well, that's a good place. Good thing to have. At least,
yes.
And then, of course, you had Bailey's. Not Bailey's. What am I saying? No, it is Bailey's. Now it's Eagles Point. Eagles Point now.
Eagles Point.
How is that doing? I haven't been there yet.
Great food.
Really? Okay.
They have fantastic food. So, and they're open for lunch on Fridays now. So they have great food. They have brunch on the weekends as well.
I need to go there. See, it's like one of these things that I could really spend a lot of money if I wanted to, and never eat at home.
Absolutely.
But that really has made a big difference because, like we've talked about already before, we had to go out of town for everything.
Yeah.
And now we got. I don't know if there really is there any one thing other than some really very specialized
Yeah,
food.
exactly. Or entertainment that people are wanting. So,
how about like a movie theater? Well, we have one here, but
so.
I really what I meant to say was bowling alley and that kind of stuff. Is that going Alley Cats?
Alley Cats.
Do they have bowling alley?
So they'll have bowling alley, go-karts, mini golf, laser tag, arcade. They even have a pickleball court. So
there's also in something else, and you and I, since we've been here a long time, it's still odd when I drive by it, and that is the demolished spot where the old Methodist church was. You know, you're so used to seeing it as a landmark as you drive down Renfro. Now it's not there, and it's like,
yes, sir.
Do you have any idea what's going to go on with that property?
I do not. We're going to be talking to council in the upcoming weeks about a vision for that property, and hopefully bring something up that
Bill is just anticipating all our questions here.
Well, I mean, I think our previous vision that we had brought a deal to council was more retail restaurant on the bottom floor, office on the top, with their own. They would park the lot, so they would have parking for that development as well. So.
I saw Larry Scott suggested that they may close that little strip of street,
Clark Street.
Yeah, just that little bitty strip between
That's
them.
something that's been discussed, but nothing's been determined on it. I think there's we worked with the United Methodist Church after we bought it to make sure they got all their stained glass back to the property on McAllister, so we made sure of that. So,
well, for me, it was a kind of a bittersweet moment. I knew it had to come down, but I'd spent 20 years there teaching at Hill.
Yes, sir.
And it may not have been opulent by any means, but it was, clean and the air conditioning worked. And so, what else do I need? And so, you spend a long time there. It's like, it's interesting because you have some feelings about it. And then I go to teach at Hill at the new place. They used to be 2 doors down from where I started in 1990 there, but it's so totally different.
It's completely different in there.
Yeah. So I don't have
It's completely
any
different in there, but if you walk into the cafeteria, it looks the same.
Really?
So,
okay. I've walked around a little bit, but it's the flooring and the classrooms and
it looks phenomenal on the inside of what they did in there.
They took out all those lockers by the library.
Yeah.
See, I was in it was 127. Now it's 109, I believe, but it's the same room.
Yeah.
And I walked by it and I try to picture myself teaching in there back in 1995 or something like that, and I really can't because it looks so different.
It looks completely different.
Yeah, but it's nice.
Yes, it is really nice. The school district did a great job with the redevelopment of that.
But I guess one more question about this, the old park or FUMC lot is that I was talking to Victoria about this, her last appearance, and she mentioned that she'd like to have space, not only for retail and stuff like that, but also park type space, for public gathering spaces. That's her big deal, parks and whatnot. When somebody buys all this, do you get at least asked about what to do with it, or is it basically once you hand it to somebody else, it's up to them to do the right thing by it?
We start to work together with the developer, with the vision that we and council have agreed upon, to go try to find a developer to fulfill that vision. The last vision that we had on the property, it did have shared patio space and had some open space to it and things of that nature. So, like I said, we'll be talking to council in the next coming weeks about how they want to either change vision, stay the same, kind of how do we want to rework this, and talk about Clark Street. I mean, all different kinds of things. But we're going to bring it back up and go from there.
Well, this is just my 2 cents, but I think Victoria has the right vision for what a lot of the people in Burleson want. They like the fact that our plaza area has really, I think, been a big boost to this community. It's provided a communal space. And I think she is.
And council has that final call on what the vision is. It's not my vision. By no means. It'll be council's.
Well, you'll get some input. I mean, what your input is probably on the financial end and the recruitment end, or whatever else. Personally, if they said, "Hey, Allard, you get to make what you want of that space," I wouldn't mind having some living space there. But that's just me. I don't think that's going to happen. Of course, speaking of living space, that it won't be long from now that depot in Maine is going to be.
August. They start pre-leasing in August.
Everybody I've talked to about that is concerned about parking. Now, is that something that y'all deal with?
Parking, yes. I mean, we are always looking for different opportunities. So, I will say, before the plaza development started construction, we did a parking study, and we were deficient 56 spots that were outside of a 5-minute walk. So since then, we have added more right-of-way parking with new commercial development, like where Extremely Refined has moved to, Old Town Med Spa has moved into. There's like an addition 30 spaces there. We're adding public spaces next to Station 330 on Main Street in the public right-of-way.
Okay.
The depot on Main is actually putting in a ton of public parking down Main Street as well. That'll be open to the public that you just don't see yet.
Okay.
Once we move into the new building and City Hall gets a little remodel and the people that are in the old PD move over to City Hall, we're demoing the old PD. We're putting a new parking lot up there at Johnson and Ellison. That's I think 130 spots with new sidewalk and new lighting. Plus we did a 30-year lease with First Baptist Church to have their public parking open for the public when they're not in use. So
hey, we could use the money.
So we went from a deficiency of 56 spaces to having over 700 spaces added since that parking study, once it's all said and done with.
The only thing you said that I would, if I were on the council, I'd have like one little concern about it. That space on Johnson and Renfro where this old PD is, that's prime real estate. I mean, putting parking there is...
No, we'll have a 10,000 square foot pad for new development there.
Okay, so there'll be some other development there. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
That's good because
yes, sir.
Because that's like one of those prime corners.
It's almost like Main and Main. Almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So that's good.
Yes, sir.
Here's another bill again. The old gym at Nola Dunn could be renovated by the city and converted into a terrific family venue, large enough to make 2 stories into one roof. Not sure if the BISD would be interested in to lose that building area. That I have no idea on that. I'm not going to comment on that one. No, I don't know if
BISD owns the old gym, and it's up to them.
I haven't. They haven't told me their plans yet. I need to call old Brett and see what's going on with him.
Yes, sir.
But Brett, we pal around, but I really look forward to seeing what goes up on that FUMC lot because
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think City Market is the best beneficiary in Old Town for all the development that's happening, especially with the depot on Main with all the living units. Kurt and Jill are extremely excited to see all the redevelopment. So
what's funny though is that when I've had members of the council on, particularly during election season, they all would say, "I'd say, what do you want to talk about? What can we not talk about?" Because I don't want to ambush them with some question like we're 60 Minutes or something like that, and they almost all would say the same thing. I really don't want to talk about that depot on Main.
I mean, I understand that. It is what it is. It may not be everything everybody wanted, but it's here.
It is what it is. Can't change it now.
Exactly.
I guess.
So
and I'm just thinking that property that they surround, they
tried to get it, but just couldn't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder it probably made the value of his property go even higher since it's been built. But we've really needed some building space. That's another thing entirely. That's probably out of your purview. But we've talked about many times about how expensive it's become to live here. But that's something I'm going to talk with Victoria about, and when I can get others on from the council. Now that Ronnie's back, I'm going to see if he'll come on a couple more times, see what we got. But I do know at one time, many years ago, there was a thought that they would expand Hill College at that location, and they were also going to build additional facilities nearby, and maybe included in that Nola Dunn property that Bill is referring to.
No, it was actually included in the Plaza development at one time.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be like a 4-story, one building across the street from City Hall, and that fell apart. And
well, they didn't get past the election, yeah.
Well, that was even past the election, so there was a lot of different iterations of it, and then we finally got to an agreement with Hill College and BISD for all of us to kind of work together to renovate the old 100 building at BHS. And
well, that's probably a better use, much better use of that property.
It looks awesome with it actually having an entrance off of Johnson.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It really is. That's a good use.
Yeah,
but I hope that we continue to grow. We're getting close on time here, but as far as any other businesses that you can or you're at liberty to tell us is coming or thinking about it? Or is it, we cover all that pretty much?
And we covered most of that. I mean, we have a lot of things happening. Just nothing that we can announce just yet. But, you have Cava, which is Mediterranean fast casual that's going in next to Torchy's. And then Payway is going in right next to it.
Oh, I like Payway. So, I really do.
For that development, so case in point with that development, it's those 4 pads, Torchy's to the car wash.
Right.
And then there's a pad site in the back. Talking to that developer in the beginning, it was a car wash, a Brakes Plus, and a dental office. And I said, look, we can't give me something else that is more beneficial to the community than this, users that...
You want people that deal directly retail, then I guess more than a dental office. I mean, do we not need a dental office?
I mean, I think the dental office could have happened there, but we worked with Torchy's on the other side and talking to them and got them in contact with the developer. And once Torchy's was sold on the market, then that kind of changed the development as a whole for that developer. So we work, kind of hand in hand with developers to try to get better uses into the community that people want to see. I do, neighborhood services kind of use dental office, doctor's offices. Those are always going to find a place for them. But, having Cava and Payway come in because of Torchy's to be next to them and be next to HEB is a huge win for us, even though we have a car wash on the corner. And I get that.
Yeah, it's all right.
But it's great stuff. So, I mean, we talked about Old Town Provisions opening up,
I really do like that store. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and they got really nice shirts.
They do.
And nice men's, not just apparel, but also, accessories, shaving gear, all this other stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. You had Old Town Med Spa open up this last month. Mackenzie Davis that moved
right next to the church.
Exactly.
So our church was trying to get that property for years, and I don't know the backstory behind it. But then also, boom, Shipman puts up a building there, and
then Extremely Refined, the boutique, moved from over by Antonio's. Mackenzie Davis owns that as well and moved over there. So, I mean, to go with the Jackson James moved from Antonio's over into Old Town, next over by Fuzzy's. So the boutiques are all kind of put together now in Old Town with a few that are still on 174. But we're starting getting not just the restaurant side of things, but the retail side of things is starting to really pick up in Old Town, which is really cool.
Well, late May, I had a business show, and I got to visit with several of our business leaders. And over at Rebecca's Boutique, I got to talk with Jackie, and that was fun. And there was a store right next to it, and I'm going to miss the name. It's kind of a Western apparel kind of thing.
Hustler Certified.
Hustler, yes.
Yeah, Hustler Certified.
And so, we're getting to the point now, it's, because to be honest, I don't care to go into Walmart or Target, and it has nothing to do with any politics. I like smaller outfits like Old Town Provisions.
Our group is very big on making sure we're supporting our local businesses and small businesses, and I feel like we do a better job of it than about any other city around us, and I'll put that up against anybody. But I would also tell people that are looking to come to our community, go talk to some of our small businesses and ask them how we are. Yeah. So because I can be a great salesperson, but it's coming from me that's trying to get you here. Go hear from somebody else.
That's exactly right.
So,
well, we're at the end. We need to do this about 3 or 4 months from now.
Absolutely.
Particularly during the holiday season, you can talk about all the stuff going on then.
Yeah. We do have one event coming up.
Okay, good.
August 12th.
I was gonna ask you about that.
August 12th, back to school bash in the plaza. So we have a bunch of inflatable water slides and everything like that, free to the public. Just bring the kids out, have fun before school starts back up.
Would it be inappropriate if I show up in a bathing suit and play on the water slides?
We don't discriminate.
Ooh, we don't need to see that.
No, you didn't need to see that. No, I won't do that.
I'll leave that up to everybody else to tell you if you need to be there or not.
No, it's for the kids. No, that's a great thing.
So,
and of course, you get the farmers market. They had that big event Friday night.
The day night farmers market, and then we had the art walk associated with it. There's still the mural that Brad Smith and his team did on just like a big canvas painting down at the plaza. It'll be down there all week this week. So if anybody wants to come take selfies with it or something like that, we're going to try to relocate that to Russell Farm.
Well, but when I drive by the plaza area, several times I've seen yoga classes going on, or kids related stuff going on, moms and their little push carts with their little squirts.
Absolutely.
So it's a great thing. And, you know, that's it. I really, really am appreciative of just how much more community opportunities there are to get together, to do things. Hot Sounds of Summer is going on, of course.
That was the whole point of the plaza, is the community's living room.
Yep. And it's become that, yes.
So,
well, appreciate everything y'all do. The three of y'all, I know, work hard. Y'all seem to enjoy the job too, so that makes it even better.
Me, Drew, and Joni been together going on 8 years now. So it's
and you have your unofficial fourth member, Mary Slaney, no doubt.
Yeah, oh yeah. So she's our. We try to keep up with her and how she cheerleads businesses, and she's a great role model for
the
for
Queen
all of us.
Of Burleson.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate you coming by.
No, thanks for having me on.
No problem. And tomorrow I have Sarah Carlson on. We're going to talk about other municipal matters stuff, you know, the name of her page and other things going on. And like I mentioned Thursday, I had to make a schedule change for obvious reasons. And so y'all contact Jennifer and give her your thoughts and prayers and
absolutely
condolences. It's a sad day, but I'll be talking about the upcoming primaries. So
yeah,
good luck. Good luck with that. Yeah, well,
good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All righty. And thank you, Taylor, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.